Yesterday, or was it the day before yesterday? It could be that it was the day before yesterday and I was just not noticing. Very well. It will be best to start right and not let the record get confused. For some instinct tells me that these details are going to be very important to historians someday. For I feel like an experiment. Yes, an experiment. That's a good word. No one can feel more like an experiment than I do, for I'm convinced that that is exactly what I am, an experiment. So then, if I'm an experiment, am I the whole of it?
This new creature with long hair is a good deal in the way.
No, I think not. Though I am the main part of the experiment, the rest of it still has its share in the matter.
It's always hanging around, following me about. I don't like this. I'm not used to company.
Is my position assured? Or must I watch it and take care of it?
I wish it would stay with the other animals.
I will have to be watchful. For some instinct tells me that eternal vigilance is the price of supremacy. Not a bad phrase for one so young.
Perhaps if I keep the chronicle of my thoughts, it would take my mind off the creature. Cloudy today, wind in the east. Think we shall rain? We? Where did I get that word?
And since vigilance is nourished by observation, I will write down everything that I have observed. Now, let's see. I've observed that there are too many stars in some places and not enough in others. Oh, and last night, the moon got loose and slid down and fell out of the sky. A very great loss. It breaks my heart to think of it, for there isn't another ornament like it for beauty and finish. It should have been fastened better. Oh, I do love moons. They are so pretty and romantic. I wish there were 5 or 6. I would never tire of looking at them. Stars are good too.
I wish it would stop talking.
The stars would look nice in my hair, but I don't suppose I can ever get them. Though they don't look it, they are very far off. This is a fact I proved last night when I tried to knock some down with the pole. I even tried throwing clods at them until I was all tired out, but I never even got one star. I even tried to gather some at the extreme rim of the circle, but it was too far and turning cold. But I nestled in with some tigers, and it was very comfortable, because their breath was sweet and pleasant because they live off of strawberries. I've never seen a tiger before, but I knew them in a minute by their stripes.
It is always talking.
Today, I am getting better ideas of distance, because I reached for a beautiful flower which was but 6 inches away, but seemed a foot. Alas, with thorns between. I learned a lesson, and I made an axiom, my very first, all out of my own head. The scratched experiment shuns the thorn. Rather good for one so young.
Been examining the great waterfall. It's the finest thing on the estate. I think someday soon, I'd like to dive off of it.
I followed the other experiment around yesterday afternoon to see what it might be for. I was not able to make it out. It has frowsy hair and brown eyes. It has no hips and tapers like a carrot. When it stands, it spreads itself apart like a derrick. I think it may be architecture. Anyway, though I thought it was going to follow me, I found that it was only trying to get away. I've got it up that tree again.
Privacy and silence is all I ask for.
So, they returned the moon last night, and I was so happy. I think it was very honest of them. Though it slid down and fell out again, there's no need to worry when one has such kind neighbors. They'll fetch it back. I wish I could show them my appreciation. I'd like to send them some stars, for we have more than we can use. But perhaps you care nothing for such matters. It has low tastes and is unkind. Yesterday at twilight, it had perked down as trying to catch the little speckled fishes that play in the pond. Have you no heart, no compassion for such creatures? Could it be that you're manufactured and designed for such ungentle work? I had to plot it to get him to leave them alone and go back up the tree. One of the plots took it back of the head, and it used language.
Ah!
It was the first time I'd heard speech except my own. Though I didn't understand the words, they seemed expressive. You can talk? Oh, I love to talk, and I talk all day and even in my sleep, and I'm very interesting. But if I had another to talk to, I would be twice as interesting, and I would never stop if desired. Try as I may, I cannot fathom what the other experiment might be for. It is not a carrot or a derrick, and certainly isn't put together securely enough to be architecture. So, it must be a he. Yes. Then you're not an it. That wouldn't be grammatical. You're a he. And one would parse it thus: nominative, he; dative, him; possessive, hisn't.
I think I'll go dive off the great waterfall.
You mean Niagara Falls?
Why Niagara Falls?
Because it looks like Niagara Falls.
That's no reason. It's mere waywardness and imbecility. The new creature names everything that comes along, and I don't even get a chance to protest. And always the same pretext is offered.
It looks like the thing.
There's the dodo, for instance.
When the dodo came along, he thought it was a wildcat. I saw it in his eye. But I saved him, and I made sure to do it in a way that wouldn't hurt his pride. I said, simply, well, I do declare if there isn't the dodo, without seeming to be explaining.
The dodo loves to keep its name, no doubt. It wearies me to fret about it, and it does no good anyway.
Though I thought that he was a little piqued that I knew the creature when he didn't, it was still evident that he admired me.
Dodo no more looks like a dodo than I do.
During the last few days, I've taken all the work of naming things off his hands, which has been a great relief to him, because he can't think of a rational name to save him. Whenever a new creature comes along, I name it before he has a chance to expose himself by an awkward silence. For example, there is one of those tigers. In this way, I have saved him many embarrassments. And look, there's a lamb. The minute I set my eyes on an animal, I know exactly what it is. And there's a rhinoceros and an ostrich.
Why ostrich?
Because it looks like one. And there's a horse.
Horse?
And an elephant and a lion. And there's a giraffe.
Why giraffe?
Because it looks like a giraffe.
Why does it look like one?
Because it has a long neck.
I get no chance to name anything.
Without reflecting for a moment, the right name comes out instantly. I seem to know just by its shape and the way it looks what animal it is.
All right, what am I?
Well, you're not a dodo.
Thank you.
And you're not architecture,
What's that?
a place to live.
Oh.
But you are a he, and therefore you must be a man. Yes, you are a man.
I knew that. What are you?
A woman, of course.
Why, of course.
Because this is a matter of course, and apparently this is the course that things will take.
I need my privacy.
At least we're getting better acquainted, which shows that he likes to have me with him. And I study to be useful to him in any way I can, so as to increase his regard.
I've been used to sounds more or less distant from me. Sounds that intrude my solitude, offend my ear.
Niagara Falls Park.
What?
I've just thought of the perfect name for this place. Niagara Falls Park.
I had a very good name for it. It was musical and pretty. I'd say it's the Garden of Eden.
Garden of Eden? This place is all woods, rocks, and scenery and has no resemblance to a garden. Besides, it looks like a park.
It's very high-handed of you not consulting me in such an important matter as to name this great estate.
I don't know anything about real estate. All I know is this place doesn't look like anything but a park.
Privately, but no longer publicly, I shall continue to call this place Garden of Eden.
We need some keep off the grass signs.
My life is not as happy as it was.
And these peaches smell delicious.
New creature eats too much fruit. We're gonna run short most likely. We? Again? That is its word.
By the way, I'm not an it, I'm a she. And one parses it thus.
I know. Nominative, she, dative, her, possessive, her.
No, hers.
Oh.
And do you know what my name is?
Oh, coconuts.
Not coconuts, Eve. My name is Eve. And you can call me that whenever you want to beckon me.
Well, that would be superfluous.
Where did you get that word? I don't think I've ever used it.
I will have the shelter to myself.
It's strange to me that my name doesn't interest him. If he were to tell me his name, I would care. It would be pleasanter in my ears than any other sound. What is your name? Though he has a good vocabulary, he talks very little. Perhaps it's because he is not bright, and being sensitive about it, wishes to conceal it. But brightness is nothing. It's in the heart where the true values lie. If only he would realize that a loving heart is riches, and riches enough, for without it, intellect is poverty. Perhaps you have forgotten your name.
I do not wish to be disturbed.
Maybe I can help you remember it.
You are not going to name me, for I have a name and I know what it is.
Well, you're not an Albert, or an Archibald, or an Austin.
Of course not, because I'm Adam.
You know, you look like an Adam.
That's because I am Adam.
Which just goes to prove my point. That if something looks like something, well then that's what it is.
Give me straight.
You know, this place would make a nice summer resort if there was any custom for it.
I will not ask what a summer resort is, for she has such a rage for explaining.
We really should put signs about, this way to the whirlpool, this way to Goat Island, Cave of Winds to the left.
Don't litter the signs, or don't litter the estate with expensive signs. You wouldn't enjoy it as much.
We shall see.
There's that word again.
I use the sociable we a good deal because it seems to flatter him to be included. We is made up of a you and a me. You and me results in a we. We is more than one person.
Me is what I intend on being. One person, undisturbed by any we.
So I spent the next few days improving the estate, and I purposely kept away from him, hoping that he would get lonely, but he didn't. I even tried to gather some of those apples for him, but I cannot learn to throw straight, and I failed. He says they are forbidden, and that I shall come to harm, but so I come to harm through pleasing him. What shall I care for that harm? Yesterday afternoon, I took my recreation by chasing butterflies and reveling in the flowers, the beautiful creatures that catch the Creator's smile from the sky and preserve it. Then I made them into wreaths and garlands, which I wore while I ate my luncheon. Peaches, of course. And then I sat in the shade and waited for him to notice me. But he didn't. No matter. Nothing would have come of it. He doesn't care for flowers. He calls them
Rubbish.
and can't tell one from the other and thinks it superior to feel that way. He doesn't care for the painted clouds at twilight or the miraculous paths of color that bless the sky after rain. Oh, is there anything he does care for except...
Thumping melons, sampling the grapes, testing the fruit off the trees, and especially building architecture to protect me against the elements. As the days drag on, she has found a new way to pester me. She continuously begs me not to go over the falls. What harm does it do?
It makes me shudder.
I've always loved the plunge and coolness. That's what the falls were made for.
They were only made for scenery, like the rhinoceros and the mastodon.
I went over the falls in the barrel, not satisfactory to her. I'm much too hampered here. What I need is a change of scene.
Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, all without seeing him. It is a long time to be alone, but I think it better to be alone than unwelcome. But I had to have company. I'm made for it, I think, so I made friends with the animals. As time goes on, I've learned a number of things and am educating myself. I've experimented until now I know that water never runs uphill except in the dark. This I know because the pool never runs dry, which it would if the water didn't come back at night. It's better to prove things through actual experiment. Then you know. Whereas if you depend on guessing and supposing, you never really get educated. I feel the same way about that tree.
She's been trying to pick apples from that tree again, so I clawed her out of it.
But nobody was looking.
Do you consider that sufficient justification for determining such a dangerous matter?
You know, your grammar's really improving.
Don't change the subject.
But the only way to learn is through experiment, or rarely through some kind of instinct that one knows something.
Oh?
Like, for example, I know that I was made out of a rib taken from your body.
That's foolish! Outlandish! At least doubtful. I have not missed any rib.
Perhaps it is because I am always at your side.
She has taken up with the snake now. In a way, I'm glad, because the snake talks. And this enables me to get some rest. She says the snake advised her to try the fruit of the tree, and says the result will be a fine and noble education. I told her there will be another result, too. It would introduce death into the world. Keep away from that tree.
No.
I foresee trouble.